this thing I have right behind me. It's the Diez Ultra, a robot vacuum that's here to revolutionize the market with an intelligent water renewal system. It's one of the most complete robots you can find on the market, and it's going to leave your house spotless. But I'm the first to want to try it. Let's get the base station and the robot vacuum up and running and see how well it cleans the floor. Let's see what's inside the robot's box. The first thing we find is an instruction pack, which also includes a brush to clean any hair that gets stuck in the robot vacuum's brushes. It comes with a blade here that will help us cut any hair that gets more tangled, and a small brush for dust. And then we find the robot vacuum itself with a pretty minimalist design. And hey, it comes with a bunch of brushes that look like they're going to clean really well. We're going to remove these seals it comes with, and now we're going to unbox the base station. On the top, there's a label that explains some instructions. Lots of plastic, so if you enjoy unboxing new things, you're going to have a good time. And I'll explain what we're going to find. Here at the top, we'll have what would be the water tank. This is what we'll have to fill with water at first, so it can mop and do all the cleaning around the house. As you can see, here it has its drainage systems. I suppose this is where the water goes down to the robot. And over here we have some other things, like for example the little cap where we have to put in the cleaner that comes with it. The cleaning solution is the following. It's a solution made by Diez, and on the back it tells us a bit about how to use it. We have to put it into that little hole you just saw, and it also explains a bit about the cleaning agents it contains. I suppose that when this runs out, you can buy it on the website to replace it. Finally, just to mention that by pulling on this lower part, we can remove this cover that hides the filter where all the dirt in the form of dust will go. This is a filter that, well, can be removed using this tab here, but I'm going to leave it in place as it's not necessary to remove it right now. It's completely clean, and when it's collected a lot of dirt and needs replacing, we just take this one out, put in a new one, and it will be clean. Then in this upper right area, we'll find some little buttons that we'll see what they're for later, from which I understand we can force, well, a cleaning of the whole system. Also, as you can see, the design is super well done. It comes with these little letters saying designed by Diez Creative Center. Honestly, this design is excellent. A mirror that's really beautiful, super pleasant to the touch, and in the end, it gives the whole set a very minimalist look. As you can see, everything is thought out in detail. The robot vacuum comes with these two accessories that help purify the water in the water tank. Let's take out this water tank and see where they are installed. This first one is a carbon filter that, as I mentioned, helps purify the water, and it's installed like this. You'll see the water container in one corner. We have this cylinder here, into which we're going to insert this carbon filter, with the rubber or the rubber seal at the top. And then we close it like this. Now it's locked in place and fully installed. Now, to start cleaning, all we have to do is fill this water tank up to the maximum line that you'll see on the left side. We insert the water tank into the base station, then we close this little lid to make it look nicer. And finally, we're almost done. Insert the detergent product into the side of the base station so that it will automatically start dispensing it. By the way, I haven't mentioned it, but the instructions say that it's perfectly compatible with all types of surfaces and that it doesn't harm the skin. Be cautious with your eyes when using this product. If it touches your skin, it's not an issue. And now, I just have to tell you a little more about the vacuum robot itself. The vacuum robot is this one we have here on the table. As you can see, on the bottom, we have a lot of things. We have the main brush, which will scrub all the dirt and then vacuum it up. As you can see, it has moving parts allowing it to adapt to uneven surfaces up to 7 millimeters, which it handles very well. Through these ultrasonic sensors on the front, the robot can detect the uneven surfaces it will encounter. Then, with this little wheel, it will move in different directions and will have the motorized wheels, which are these two large rubber ones, to provide good traction. Then brushes to reach the most difficult spots. We have two, one on the left side and one on the right side. This way we optimize each pass we make much better. And this one down here would be the mop that will pick up all the dust and also mop the floor. On the front, we find a module with cameras and sensors that, through artificial intelligence, will be able to recognize all kinds of dirt and obstacles in order to generate a very accurate map of the room we want to vacuum. And it will also be able to detect bits of dirt or specks of dust. And any type of material that the vacuum recognizes, it needs to pick up. This way, even at night, we'll be able to optimize every pass of the vacuum to leave the floor spotless. On the top, we find a cover that makes the robot vacuum much more attractive, a cover with a piano black finish, which I suspect is going to be delicate. And here we have the button to start cleaning, the Wi-Fi connection button, and the power on and off button. In the same way, we will find the filter where the first filtration will take place while we are vacuuming. This is so that the dust that the robot itself doesn't retain doesn't get blown out into the rest of the room we're in, for example, in my case, into the rest of the living room. However, don't worry, because that will be cleaned automatically at the base station. And finally, we're going to have a water tank with a little cap through which it will have the water it uses to mop at all times. And if we want to empty it, we just remove this little cap and directly empty the tank this way. As you can see, everything is super accessible for cleaning and for doing any maintenance that's needed over time. And well, I just want to mention that the robot will automatically charge at the base station using these connectors on the back. So with that said, let's put it to charge and go straight to how it works. As you can see, when we connect the base station to the power, this is what it looks like. The brand logo on the top, some lights on the front through the water tank, which honestly gives it a super modern look. And the robot at the bottom, which would be charging through the metal connectors we saw. The buttons we have on the side of this base station are a child lock, a return to home button, and a button to manually start a cleaning with the robot that's on the bottom part. Let's launch the app that we'll use to control the robot. It asks us to scan the code that came on the sticker right above the robot. And with that said, now it tells us that when the device is on, we should hold down the setup button for 3 seconds. So that's what I'll do. I'll press the Wi-Fi button for 3 seconds. I have now reset the Wi-Fi. We set up the Wi-Fi on the device, which by the way supports both 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi and 5 GHz. And then it automatically connects to the device by itself. And as you can see, we can already see the robot. In the mobile app, we can access the robot. It tells us that it needs to have a certain distance from the walls and, well, all the distances that we set for it. Well, here it gives us a brief summary of everything we need to do, which I already explained to you before. Fill in the water that will go over the mops, and it will use artificial intelligence to detect any obstacles we have for vacuuming. I'm starting the artificial intelligence. It first asks if I want to sync the time, and I say yes. And it also asked me to make a map of the room I'm in, so let's initialize it. While you watch how this cleaning system works in full, I'm going to tell you about some features of this Diez S10 Ultra. First of all, let me say that it's a super premium robot that will allow for a thorough cleaning of absolutely all the floors in our house. As I mentioned, it works on all kinds of surfaces, even carpets, handling a height difference of up to 7 millimeters. It will compete directly with well-known brands in the world of home vacuum cleaners such as Roborock, Dream or Eufy. The robot's dimensions are about 36 centimeters in diameter and about 11 centimeters in height. And the robot weighs 5.5 kilograms, while the base station is a little bigger. It's going to be about 60 centimeters tall, and then it's approximately 46 to 47 centimeters wide and deep. The weight here is higher, 21 kilograms, because we have several systems that I'll tell you about later. We have a package that, when it comes in the box, weighs 30 kilograms, and honestly, you need a bit of strength to lift it. However, this makes it much more robust than some rival stations. Then, as for the robot, we have a vacuum with 13,000 pascals of suction, which is much higher than the rest of its direct competitors, by range and price, which will be discussed later. We have 2 brushes that will allow us to clean corners and areas along the edges of the walls. Meanwhile, we have a main brush that prevents hair tangles and cleans itself automatically, through which we suck up all the dirt. Then we have the scrubbing system. You'll see in the images that I set it to do a complete cleaning. That's why it's using the Ultra Rich mop, which can extend up to 5 centimeters to the sides. You'll see in several images that the mop, which is the roller on the back, extends to the right and retracts automatically to completely clean the entire floor. This brush has 330 revolutions per minute, which is much higher than other competitors, like I mentioned about Dream, Eufy and Roborock. The scrubbing speed is 330 revolutions per minute, much higher than competitors. Also, it's worth mentioning that it's a perfect device for when you spill a liquid, for example, in the kitchen and you want to clean it up, since the mop will absorb all that moisture left on the floor. It wouldn't be a problem if we spilled the Coke on the floor, because we could put the vacuum in that area and it would clean it perfectly. We have tanks for dirty water and clean water. The clean water tank holds about 120 milliliters in the robot, and the dirty water tank holds about 180 milliliters. It also has an interesting feature. When returning to the station, the dirty water is transferred there. And through a system that heats the water to 90 degrees, it evaporates. And through decantation, we can reuse that dirty water again as if it were clean water. And all the remaining dirt goes to the filter, where all the dirt from the vacuum itself would go. In addition, we have a compressor system that collects all the moisture from the environment to fill that clean water tank we have. I haven't been able to try this because it's summer, I have the air conditioning on and the air in this room is super dry. And we need 30% humidity at least for this system. However, my colleague Santiago, whom you'll see in some of the footage, tried it. And in about one night, in around 8 hours, he managed to fill a liter of water from this tank. This system for reusing dirty water is called Water Recycle, which is really great, very innovative, and it's the first brand to integrate it. We also have water purification with silver ions, which is the device you've seen that we put into the water tank itself. And then in the base station itself, it has a system for washing and drying the mop, which it uses to mop the entire floor. This is done completely automatically so that it's clean and dry for the next time we want to use it, which, well, reduces bad odors when it operates. I've been amazed at how well it recognized absolutely all the obstacles. It went between the legs of a countertop, it went between the legs of chairs. It went around really well. When it knows there's a table leg, it went around it really well. At a very tight angle to pick up all the dirt around. And honestly, this has surprised me along with the map it made at the beginning. Just by taking a super quick spin around the living room, it recognized all the obstacles and then went straight to work. Is it able to recognize animals, people, more than 100 objects, as you've seen on the map? It showed that there was poop in one corner, dirt in another spot. Well, it recognizes objects quite well using artificial intelligence, the cameras and the sensors it has. And that makes the cleaning much more efficient. The green light you saw is intentional. It shined a green beam against the dirt in the footage. The robot uses its sensors to identify and focus on areas it detects as being dirtier. Its battery is 5,200 mAh and it charges automatically at the base station. And I would say that it's enough to vacuum for about 2 hours. To vacuum the entire living room, which is approximately, I think, about 13 or 15 square meters. From what I recall, the app showed it used around 10%, so it's able to vacuum an entire house. And if we can't set it to clean by regions, can it just go to the base station, recharge, and then go back out to keep cleaning? Regarding noise, I need to mention a few things. The water evaporation and compressor systems, along with the automatic cleaning, generate significant noise. However, it has a mode where we can tell it, for example, from 10 at night to 8 in the morning. It halts and becomes as quiet as possible, or even totally silent. If it bothers you, simply turn it off. Regardless, it always remains under 65 decibels here. And I have to say that it comes with Wi-Fi 2.4G and 5GHz, as well as Bluetooth for connectivity. This makes it, of course, compatible with the mobile app and also with voice assistants like Alexa or Google. As for the competition, I would say that this one wins in many aspects. For example, the matter of higher suction power, which is important when we're vacuuming dirt from the floor or dust. Also, is the only one on the market with automatic water recycling. And I should mention that they do an outstanding job managing everything. With the mop and the hair that gets tangled. Or rather, it prevents them from getting tangled in the main roller. I'm telling you, it cleans this automatically and it's just wonderful. It allows you to do maintenance every 2 to 3 months, even if you use it every day. And the main filter in the base only needs to be changed every 2 years. This robot is mainly designed for people who want to forget about everything, including cleaning the floors at home. Of course, it's not a cheap robot. Its price is 1,700 euros, but with a special coupon on the official website, you can get it for 1,400 euros. But, as I was saying, it's an expensive robot. But it's going to allow us to have a thorough and automatic cleaning of our entire house, which we value when we pay a higher price, maybe compared to other vacuums we can find on the market. The main benefits are not having to refill the water and minimizing the need to clean the dirty water used for mopping, or not having to empty the tanks or dirt filters every day. And that's simply with the detergent we put in and the filters. It has the main parts last for a few months and the main base filter lasts 2 years. As I told you, if we had to mention something to improve, maybe, hey, optimize the weight and size a little bit, because it's true that it's a big station that takes up space. If we have a small house, it will take up space, but if we have a big house, we can find a corner or any spot for it. He will always know how to get there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So if you liked the video, I just ask you to leave a like to let me know. With that, I'll see you next video. Goodbye.